Hello and welcome back to Suspended Animation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it cut me off again in the beginning. Hi. Welcome back to Suspended Animation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for Doom Patrol, Season 3, Episode 4, Undead Patrol. Welcome, everybody. Yeah, Google fucking with me again. I thought that I was actually live, and I wasn't, so yeah, there we go. Welcome everybody. Let me take care of some business first, and we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible. One of the videos, my vast video library, and pops up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. Also, if you want to know when I'm going live again next, you get that bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule. I change it out every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media on there and all the links to my pages like this YouTube channel page, my Facebook page, and a Facebook group page where you guys can post stuff and chat amongst yourselves. All right. Let's get to it, shall we? Spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the episode. If you have not seen the episode, go and watch it. Come on back. This will be a video. You can comment down below in the comment section, giving you enough time to turn away or pause or whatever it is you're going to do. And pull your pants up too while you're at it, man. I could see everything. So yeah, this one wasn't, of course, something that was part of the plot or anything like that. It advanced the plot a little bit this week, but this was mainly just stupid fun, is really what it was. Of course, our group came back from the dead last week, and there's consequences for that. They become zombies, of course, and they need to eat some brains. In the meantime, Madame Rouge, who is now known as Shannon, according to Rita. She wants to call her Shannon. Um, has unlocked the little, that box that. So the key that Chief had left Rita unlocks another little tiny keyhole that's in the back there, and she opens that up, and the chessboard slides away, and there's a reel of film that just so happens to pertain to Madame Rouge, Shannon, whoever you want to call her at this point. And she watches it. It's this old black and white film, and it's a woman sitting there stroking a cat. Kind of a weird thing. And it says it's the Sisterhood of the Dada. And Laura DeMille, and there's another woman, the woman that's stroking the cat. The cat's name is Laura DeMille. So yeah, this weird thing. And so she ends up standing up and start doing this dance. Shannon starts doing this weird interpretive dance, if you will. And she realizes that the cat is actually her. She finds this out later on in the episode, but in the meantime, she gets interrupted by the undead crew who are looking for brains at this point, of course. And we also have Willoughby, who has Chief's head in a motel room, and he has brought Chief's head back to life somehow, or it's actually just talking through a microphone. I thought it was actually pretty funny because we know that Timothy Dalton called in his lines. That's how he recorded those things. So it sounds like it's through a telephone anyway. Why not make it through a telephone anyway? So I thought that was actually pretty fucking humorous. And he's using Chief's head in order to contact Baphomet to see if she likes him or not. It was just kind of a weird thing. But really what he's doing is he wants to siphon all of the knowledge out of Chief's head because he has a lot of arcane knowledge, a lot of magic knowledge, which could be dangerous in the wrong hands. But he gets interrupted by someone from season 1 that we haven't seen in a while. Darren. That's right. Darren Jones, who of course was the head of the ant farm, for the Bureau of Normalcy. And he beats the shit out of Willoughby, takes Chief's head and Willoughby's jacket, and is holding it for ransom because he wants the rest of the freaks there as well. Raymond said it felt like a fun Halloween episode. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was meant for that. I'm thinking that's what it was too. Yeah, it was just a fun episode, is what this was. So of course, what does Willoughby do? He brings the crew along with him, and of course, he brings along Shannon as well, and wants her to be the surprise to Darren, and she's supposed to drop some hard dragon piss, dragon urine onto Darren's head, which is supposed to work and knock him out or something like that. Of course, things go awry. She thinks she's a shapeshifter. She is. She turns into an ottoman, falls through the roof, and the dragon urine turns out to be a dud. And Darren turns out to be a werebutt, which I didn't see coming for a million miles, honestly. So the butt creatures that, of course, ate the shit out of the ant farm, um, they bit Darren and turned him into a butt creature as well. He turns into a werebutt, and he howls and brings in a whole bunch of werebutts. So the zombified Doom Patrol take out the werebutts in true horror fashion. I mean, Cliff is just jamming his robot hands into them and just smashing them together. Rita's beating the crap out of them here and there. Cyborg's got a chainsaw at one point. Where he got that from, I don't know. Larry's got a pitchfork and he's pitchforking him. Yeah, and Crazy Jane decides to eat them, is what she decides to do, which Rita tries it. She's like, no, this doesn't. She kind of growls it. We have subtitles for this, for the zombieism of, she says it tastes awful. And I did love also Cyborg's thing. He goes, I didn't used to swear as much, when I wasn't a zombie. And I also have to admit, I loved Cliff's what the fuck growl that he did. You could tell it was what the fuck, but it was a growl. And I just fucking started laughing at that one. But I have to admit, and I'll get to this actually. I'll get to that one at the end, a little bit that I really liked there. So they're done with that. Darren as a werebutt is the only werebutt to escape, and they go back home. They're still zombies at this point, and we find out that the reason why they want to eat brains, and Chief knows this, is because the antidote to zombieism is actually a compound inside the human brain. That's why they want to eat the brain, is to get the antidote. And so Chief sacrifices himself to the crew, so they'll eat his brain and become, of course, normal again, and they do. And of course, they never want to talk about it again. And Cliff, I love Cliff's reaction. He goes, Are we all cannibals now?" And they're like, "Shut up, Cliff." And he goes, "But wait a minute." He goes, "I'm like 99.999% metal." He goes, "Maybe if I ate a Cadillac, that would make me they're, "Shut up, Cliff." I love that. And they're all drinking like cleaner in order to get the taste out of their mouth and everything. And in the meantime, Madame Rouge, of course, is back in the watching the movie again and realizes that her name is Laura DeMille. So she is the Laura DeMille. And she also realizes that the person filming the film is Rita. That's where she got Rita's face from, is because Rita was in the background filming the film, and you could see her in a mirror in there as well. And if you take a look in the mid credit scene, it just actually was like 5 seconds after the credits started. You see Darren as a werebutt, howling, or he kind of hisses out brains, and he's running into Cloverton. So he's now a zombie werebutt, which the crew is going to have to deal with at this point. And I have to say, my favorite line out of this episode came from Crazy Jane at the very beginning. She goes, "Is someone going to have to kick you in the pee hole in order to find out who you are?" And that was what made me laugh. It really did. Uh, how did Cliff eat? We don't know. With his mouth. There you go, Mr. Roboto. He ate with his mouth. Raymond says they should have hired Sir Mix-a-Lot for this episode. He would have had a field day. Yeah, I know. They did miss an opportunity. I like Big Butts. I did like the punk song that they had uh, as they were doing. There was a good horror homage to this whole episode. And actually, there was a couple times I got like kind of queasy during it. I never get queasy during zombie stuff, but this one actually made me kind of weirded out a little bit. Oh, and Cliff, by the way, online, That was the other thing that made me laugh too. Cliff going online and he's checking out medical stuff, trying to figure out what his brain ailment is. And the one doctor that he is actually FaceTiming with or, Zooming with, whatever you want to call it, he tells her everything that happens. And she just looks at him and goes, "God damn TikToker, stop wasting my time." And she ends the call. And of course, he ends up finding drugs that he could buy online. So, of course, he buys drugs, which we don't know how he's going to take them because, after all, he's just a brain inside a robot shell. So, we don't know how this is going to actually happen. And Larry is puking up blue stuff. So, we don't know if he's dying or what's going on with Larry at the moment either. But he's got this big bulge that's coming out of his stomach. And did the passenger impregnate him and leave something behind? And that's the reason why, he left Larry? We don't know, but that's another mystery to solve in the next episode or so. Penn says, but if that's the cure, then why don't all zombies get cured as soon as they eat? Well, as Chief said, he goes, zombie movies bastardized it and they just went for the brain stuff. They didn't show the aftermath of them eating the brains and becoming normal again. That's only Hollywood, exactly, as Raymond says. Yeah, CBM and Cliff is curious about the flavor. He goes, "What did it taste like?" Will someone tell me what it tastes like? Shut up, Cliff. That was actually pretty good. I mean, it was a fun episode. It was something you kind of needed, I think, after the first 3 episodes there, and just to kind of clear stuff out, if you will, and get on with the new storyline. Yeah. It's always bad stuff, Mr. Roboto, when you're puking up blue. Penn says, "How did Larry become a zombie if he was from if it was from the puke? He wasn't there." No, he was there. Larry was there. Remember, he was on board the boat. He was the one that actually led. He was the beacon for the dead boy detectives in order to get to the rest of the crew. So he was there, and it wasn't from the puke. It was just from them coming back from the dead. But we don't know if it was actually from the puke or not from episode 3. I can't believe I'm actually talking about this. Was it the puke or was it not the puke? We don't know, you know? How about if it's just blue Gatorade? Well, that's a lot of fucking Gatorade if you're drinking that much or you're puking it up. So, fun fact, if you drink enough Gatorade, your poop turns blue because of, I forget what it is that's in the Gatorade itself. But, yeah, if that's all you drink is Gatorade, your poop turns blue. It's a fun science experiment that you can try at home, boys and girls. Yes, I have firsthand knowledge of it too. Yeah, it's no bueno. It freaks you out at first too, and I'm talking like it's blue, where you're just like, "What the fuck?" No, blue poop is not bad unless you, maintain it for more than 4 days, and then you should consult a doctor. Exactly. So, fun episode. I'm looking forward to see, of course, where Darren the werebutt zombie is gonna go in Cloverton and what's gonna happen next. And, oh, yeah, and then also, I almost forgot. I mean, this episode had a whole bunch of stuff in it too. So, Rita actually damaged the time machine so that, Madame Rouge, of course, cannot go back and talk to Chief, which she does end up talking to Chief and agrees to feed his head to the group in exchange for a file that he has on her because he knows who she is and he really doesn't like her. Chief doesn't. Um, and that whole thing with Cyborg and his dad, where he confronts him also about what his mother had said that there was a different choice, that there was a synthetic skin that they could have used to fix Vic instead of the cyborg enhancements, and he's pretty upset about that with his dad. So yeah, there's a couple of different things that are being exhumed here, if you will. Yeah. Raymond says, "How do they even get this episode past the pitch meeting?" They're all fucking weird. If you ever follow them on Twitter, which I do, they're fun. It's Room Patrol is what it's called, Room Patrol, and they're a bunch of fun fuckers. They really are. So it's a lot of fun. Penn says, "Oh, come on, Raymond. After the whole town and orgasm, anything goes." Yeah, I mean, sex ghosts. Uh, if you run the gamut of stuff that's happened, I actually had to go back in the episode guide to find out when the ant farm happened because I thought it happened in season 2, and no, that was season 1 with Flex Mentallo and all of that, and that was yeah, during all the craziness. There was a lot of stuff that happens in these seasons. There's a lot of stuff that happens. And that's why I love Doom Patrol because each episode is jam-packed full of stuff. Whereas you get other episodes that have a lot of filler, um, or even their filler isn't even fun. Like this one, there was some filler to it, but it was fun filler, is really what it was. And it's still probably going to be relevant or called back to at some point in time. You know, someone's going to call back to the zombie thing in season 5 is what they're going to do, and that's what you want to see in a good TV series is something that's going to entertain you, something that is going to maybe even shock you a little bit and make you go, "What the fuck?" Because that's what we all want to say is "What the fuck?" Or we're watching stuff. Good episode though, lots of fun. Um, yes, I miss the giant. I miss Ezekiel as well. I agree with you, Ben. I miss Mr. Nobody as well, but that bastard went and got a higher paying job over at Sci-Fi or Sci-Fi, and he got an Emmy for it too. Bastard, he's never coming back. CBM says Jane violently rimming a butt monster and then everyone eating the chief while he asks, yeah, for it. Yeah, when he says "eat me," the whole "eat me" thing too. Thank you, CBM. I was actually going to mention that whole thing with jail final catharsis, the "eat me" that Chief told her to do. Eat me. Yeah. I also had a flashback to the second Adams Family movie with the Thanksgiving festival. The with Pugsley dressed up as a big fucking turkey with the "eat me," that whole thing, which always makes me laugh every time I see it. That that is another movie that just keeps on giving. It really does. Ah. Yeah, this whole show is really fucking hard to describe to people. Morks actually, as a matter of fact, just finished season 2, or he burned through season 2, is into season 3 right now, and he actually emailed me and he's like, "Dude, why don't you tell me to watch this? This is really good." I'm like, "I kept telling you, I don't know how much more I can twist your arm to watch this thing because it's really good. It's twisted, it's got different storylines, it's got different ideas, and it's fun, but it's also deep at the same time. It's an oddball of a show that's why it's the best show on TV, quite honestly. That is why it's the best show on TV. It's got so much stuff packed into it. It's not for everybody. I can, like those people that are watching CSI Krakow or, CSI, you know, Sheboygan, something like that. They're not going to watch this show because, they want that bland 40-year-old show that's been going on for, 50 some odd years now. Raymond says you can't pin down Wash. He's a leaf in the wind. Uh, but yeah, if every person I can turn on to the show, I try to. I tell them this is the gem. This is the gem in the rough that you want to watch. This is the one that when everyone says there's nothing good on TV, I show them this and I'm like, here, this is something good. Watch this, you know? And it is weird, but it's also really fucking well written. And yes, it has gotten Emmy awards as well. although it was robbed this time around because it's in a huge fucking category that has, like I said, CSI Minnesota or CSI, you know, Warsaw in it. So yeah. CBM says it's the best of both worlds. It has aggressive obscurity and high character depth. Yes, it does. It's like I said, it's an oddity. It really is an oddity. And bringing in different characters and also calling back to stuff from the first season that you think was over and done with, like Darren Jones, bringing him in from the ant farm. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting him to be a werebutt either, you know? And then a werebutt zombie. Where the fuck did that come from? You guys out there in the Doom Patrol writing room, you guys aren't doing any kinds of illicit drugs, are you? Because if you are, good for you. Because that's the only way you're gonna come up with this kind of shit. That's all I can say. Because I know it didn't come from the well, some of it probably did come from the comics, but the comics are just as weird, by the way, from the 80s and 90s, somewhere around there. Yeah, especially when it was in the Vertigo imprint, it really was this kind of weird. So I can see how they're kind of leaning into it, which is really good. Raymond K. Hessel says, "How would you feel if you were a good actor and told to be this ridiculous? Is it disrespectful or awesome?" Um, Honestly, I think it would be a stretch, quite honestly, and probably be freeing as an actor. I know when you do, acting classes and things like that, there are certain, what do they call them, assignments that you're supposed to go as far out there as you can to stretch as an actor and to be ridiculous and to go over the top, to eat a lot of scenery as much as possible. There are those kind of assignments to do. And I would say as an actor, if you were gonna go in as an actor and doing this would probably be something that you would really wanna fucking do because they get the depth of it. You see Crazy Jane's character, she gets, Diane Guerrero is playing multiple characters, is what she's doing, and she's also playing a depth of character as well, someone who's abused, that kind of, all of that, as well as she gets to be a fucking zombie every now and then, or yeah, it's like I said, you get a stretch, a range of emotions, a range of acting styles in this. And yes, I agree with you, Penn. I think the cast is perfect as well. Because you'll never know what's going to happen. And I think that would be beneficial as an actor. You never know what the script's going to bring you and what kind of challenge the script is going to bring you. And I'm sure the writers just kind of bring it every single time, and they're like, let's see what we can do this, this time around. And I don't think it's disrespectful at all. I think it'd just be, a dream job. It keeps you from getting bored while you're working. That's what it is. So enough gushing about this. I know a lot of you are staying up late, and I want to thank you guys who I had I had to go over and get my back adjusted by the chiropractor. I had a little bit of emergency cracking to do, so that's the reason why I was late today. So thank you all for joining this late. So what else do I have going on the rest of this week? Tomorrow I'm off. Saturday is Saturday morning blast off where I take the genre news of the weekend and genre stuff you guys want to talk about. We talk about it. Sunday will be spoiler alert where you guys get to talk about anything and everything. It turns into a weird kind of mishmash of things. So we'll see what happens there. Monday is Why the Last Man. Tuesday I'm going to be off again. Wednesday will be the season finale of What If. The season finale of What If. We're going to find out what happens with Ultron there, or Supreme Leader, or whatever he's called. And then, of course, Thursday we roll back around again to Doom Patrol. There we go. CBM says, I have to agree. The actors get to really ham it up, but they still get to do the subtle emotional dialogue. Exactly. Yeah. All right. So thank you, everybody. Thank you to everybody joining me today in the chat. Thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos my fast video library pops up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can, hit that like button, the share button. Also, for those of you who are here, if you haven't already, hit that like button if you can before you go. Also, if you want to know when I'm going to be on again next, you can hit that bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule up there. I change it every week, like I've said. And I have all the links to my social media on there and all of my pages as well. What if went too fast? I agree with you, Penn. What if did go fast? Although there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be I've been reading things here and there online. There are a lot of people that don't like What If because it's taking these different heroes and putting them in different situations. Like, if you change one event here and there, um, and they don't understand that those comics have been around for decades. The What If comics, or you kind of do this. There are actually literally comics built off of the multiverse. It's called the Exiles and Excalibur, and they have a lot of X's in their names. But and I think that's coming towards the movies, quite honestly. So we'll see what happens. I think that's what this whole phase 4 is. It's all going to be dealing with the multiverse and Kang. So it's going to be a lot of fun. But we're talking about Doom Patrol here too. So I will see you on Saturday for Saturday morning blast off. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may find out that the guy who's, really creepy society that you took down is actually a werebutt now, and he's there to try and kill you. But you're a zombie at this point, and you're just looking for brains. So, hey, it's all good. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again on Saturday. Until then, stay safe, be well, take care, wear those masks, get those vaccine shots, and stay safe out there, everybody. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.